good evening. No matter location, on oblique spheroid, no matter what language your universal translator is set to. Allow me to welcome you to this 100% live transmission of Saturday, March 9th, AIR9 edition of The Next Dimension, with your host, as always, forever, Dr. Derail, and fearless Tibor, the Archon Slayer. Unfolding now before us, a random, sporadic selection of current, real-time, breaking, weird news, cutting-edge, and classic rock and roll. We had a super Rastafarian reggae break coming up for you, Selassie I Soldier Robo Shot Us, and you relaxing, retaliatory robot fighters who are combating the panopticonic technological socialist regime controlled by the solid-state intelligence from another dimension, which is crystalline in nature. This episode is brought to you by Ruderalis, Slippery Salmon, the letter M, and our friends at Atlant Internet Radio. If you listen to air, you are the resistance.
Air! The reactor makes air. That's Cohagen's secret. Let's go.
Where's this reactor come from?
Aliens build it.
Aliens? Are you sure about this?
It's just up ahead. Hell.
Digressing mission status from news irrigators. Immediately, including RiggityRants.com, The Drudge Report, RT, South China Morning News, Al Jazeera. And last time I checked, this was a rock and roll show.
Want to make you automatons and have, quote, zero tolerance and everything, where cops are robots, where teachers are robots, where you don't have any discretion because they want you to be a robot. You see, that's where all this is going. That's why they're trying to replace us with robots. I mean, I want war. I don't want to be nice. I want to be cleansed of. That's why they want to make you automatons and have, quote, zero tolerance.
Deadly weapons by killer dwarfs. Firing off the next dimension here with your host, as always, Dr. Derail, and Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer. Coming up, we got news on Zuckerberg's panic shoot, a raid on Brazil's cult, on some slavery cult they got. The Chrysler building got sold for less money than it's worth to someone in Abu Dhabi. A hidden door in the Sphinx. We got a word from Slippery Salmon. In a divination of divine prognostication in mystic reverie of Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer's mystic powers grade the metal of artificial foolishness. In this episode, Atlan Internet Radio, Air 8 edition of The Next Dimension. So, which one's this off? This is off the Sun, Tibor? Or this one's about Zuckerberg when the stuff hits the fan. He's got an escape chute, like...
He wants to beat hasty retreat.
This is off the Sun. This one's titled Logging Off. Zucks has secret panic chute leading to car park underneath his fake book conference room for emergency escapes. There seems to be a video. There's Zucks looking dapper in his suit and pale complexion, a blue navy suit. He has some security officials, a very Asian-looking fellow squinting, looking down and to his right at Zucks. Scrolling it down here for us listeners at home. Last year, the security plan for Zucks and his family cost Fakebook £10 million monthly. As new details about the billionaire's safeguarding emerge.
He gets
here
daily threats.
Yeah, on The Next Dimension here, we know that safety is an illusion. The only real threat is the cybernetic intelligence from another dimension that seeks to transmogrify your soul using the transhumanist agenda to download your soul into the computer as your name turns to numbers. And the last train to nowhere, which is a computer buried somewhere in, north of Alaska.
In my country, they have, when you go to visit Prime Minister, they have trapdoor, but it's not for Prime Minister, it's for you.
So, for emergency situations, Business Insider revealed these panic chute rumors when reporting on Zucks' round-the-clock executive protection program. Apparently 70 people are now protected by executive security team at Fakebook, which is led by former U.S. Secret Service Special Agent Jill Evans Jones. I wonder if she's related to Alex Jones. You have no idea. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I do?
Foolish.
You're foolish. Artificially foolish. For thinking you can pull one over us. We know it's a profiling system invented by the FBI, and now everyone willfully puts their profile on there and tells whatever friends they have on the site. It's even been hacked. They even told you it's been hacked before. We know we're being watched.
Censored.
Society's been changed.
Censored.
They're trying to involve us, but I tell you, we're completely random on this show. We're not running by a set list. We got some stuff we're trying to work out because we have to communicate somehow. We have to,
We are not smart enough to
So
make
here's
plans.
the thing we're doing on The Next Dimension here. We're making it completely random. I have some dice here, some Dungeons and Dragons dice and a normal 6-sided die. I have one 10-sided dice, one 20-sided dice, and what's a little triangle one? I think it's a 4-sided die.
I have
And
dice
we're going to
ready
roll
too.
this stuff, and we're going to see who's going to play the next song.
What do you get? I got 6.
You got 6. You're rolling one 6-sided die.
Yeah.
I got 5. You
Okay.
get to pick. You get to pick the next song.
Oh.
So we're listening to some. I think we're gonna play, since we said classic, cutting edge, current rock and roll. And we're talking classic, and this is something from Tibor when he went to high school back in Moldovia. And it's another story we have. It's about Moldovan RVs, Cheznov, and how Borat pissed off Romania, and how Tibor's fourth cousin, twice removed, is cousins of Vlad from Moldovia. Vlad's cousin from Moldovia.
Yes,
and Tibor's tractor came from a place they pulled it out of the Nitsu River before his girlfriend brought it down here. And they also have beautiful wall rugs in Moldovia. And another thing we had too, maybe we should roll the dice on this one too, because Voivod Stefan the Great is Tibor's fourth cousin, twice removed. So he was a Moldovan wizard smith like Tibor is.
We have special powers. We are plugged into psychic mycelium.
The divinization of divine prognostication and mystic reverie of Tibor, the fearless Archon Slayer.
We like to say there is a fungus, a humongous fungus among us.
And again, this episode was brought to you by Ruderalis, slippery
Friendly
salmon.
strain. Very friendly.
Yeah. The letter M. And slippery salmon doesn't like Sky Noog, Fake Book, Nutflux, Screwtube, or Zamazog. They're the garbage harbingers of the night and the cosmic dumpsters of gloom and doom porn, while Dr. Derail and Master Tibor, the Archon Slayer, only watch the Gorn fight with Captain Kirk and the reptilian Captain Commander of... Where's the Gorn from again?
Globalists know how to manipulate people, but there's so many generations into it. They're dinosaurs. They're scared little Skeksis in their dark tower. These people are a joke.
And you've had 1,000 years to rid yourselves of this evil, and now you've only got 3 hours of breaking weird news, rock and roll, and a Rastafari reggae break coming up for you.
You'll have had 1,000 years to rid yourself of this evil, and now all you've got are 3 hours.
The robo shot is out there in you.
Do it!
So, Tibor's got the song. He's going to pull the trigger on it any second now. It starts with the V. It rhymes with his fourth cousin, twice removed.
From New Year's Eve, 1969, 1970. That was Madison Square Gardens, Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsies. And the power to love. This beautiful thing, yes? In my country, is very big hero, Jimi Hendrix.
Moldovan.
We have Jimi Hendrix Day every year.
Right by the Nitso River.
He is our national hero. I love Jimi Hendrix.
We're actually going to play Voivod, but Tibor rolled the dice again, and that song was called The Power of Love by Jimi Hendrix, and it's a really old song. They used to play it back in high school, and it's totally awesome, because I was like, you know, that's the power of randomness, because you never know what we're going to play. Maybe something good or maybe something awesome.
We got all worked up. We do that sometimes.
Tibor is both reckless and moderately severe in his dispatching of the Archon alien inhabitants. of the surrounding land and seas, I too truly believe that I will warp out to Canthalian proportions, increasing my robot-destroying powers to the next level, the next dimension. The next dimension in entertainment. The next dimension in radio. Prepare yourselves for 3 hours rock and roll.
Do it! Do it!
Coming up next!
Do it now!
Ah! You have to do it! Who do you think I am? What do you think I do? You're very foolish. Artificially foolish.
Foolish.
Unfolding now before us is some current instant reliable news from all over the dusty slush of outer rings of our galaxy and around our blue oblique spheroid. From both the Drudge Report and RiggityRants.com. And this one's off of this is off of Drudge. And it goes to the New York Post. Let's see what the heck they're up to.
Looks like big panic for Generation X.
Generation X.
Very
They're
upset.
panicking. Some
Very
guy
upset.
died.
Yes, 902.
Some actor died off of some
567.
acronym.
Yes, he's from.
He passed away, yeah.
He got a stroke. But now all the young people, for me, young people, you are not Generation X. I do not believe you are Generation X.
I'm from the future. I was sent here to fight robots before it gets too out of hand.
Yes, but they're very worried now because they're now realizing what I knew 40 years ago myself. You are getting old and you are fading away. You are suddenly becoming old and irrelevant, and you thought you were so special. Maybe break a special award, you know.
That's pretty gloomy. Doom and gloom.
I don't mind doom so much. I hate gloom, though.
There's more humans alive now than ever before on the surface of this planet. The Garden of Eden. The Garden of Flesh.
In the Garden of Eden.
Creatures that walk on its surface, always looking to the light, never seeing the untold oceans of darkness and beyond. There are more humans alive at this moment than in all its pitiful history.
We're gonna play these pitiful clips for you. There's never been more humans. Anyway, you can't trust the New York Post for anything decent. I can go in the parakeet cage. The
Quite frankly, I
Moldovan
am
parakeet
like that.
cage.
I can pull somebody's head off. I've got ape-like strength. I'm King Kong, baby. I'm not ashamed of my simian nature.
I'm not ashamed of my simian nature. You just have to get up. You can't fight that Gorn head on sometimes, and unless you go work out, unless Spock is. And not the new Spock, because I missed the last Star Trek, but Tibor, you're talking about it. Spock has a beard. He's all emo because his little sister left him. His little sister's pants don't fit him, and his Vulcan dad caught him in his mom's makeup case, and his sister's jeans don't fit him anymore. Wasn't that how Star Trek was going?
Crazy mixed up house.
Yeah, he's crazy mixed up.
Where
He's not shaven. He's He's going for the new age.
Daughter is adopted, human daughter. Then she lives in Vulcan house, must be raised as Vulcan, with half Vulcan brother, with Vulcan father who's very special and very important, and crazy mother who always put pressure on everybody. It's a tough environment for a boy to grow up, and no wonder Spock is so icy cold.
He was just doing his job on the Enterprise.
But you know, they got those guys with the throbbing heads, remember from...
Yeah, they show him at the end of the episode at all times, and it reminds you of the Zeta Reticulating Greys that come and visit the planet
That was
from time to time.
first episode before Kirk, when Christopher Pike was in box with beeping light. Only way he could talk.
And where are my manners? This is for Luke Perry that passed away. Untimely demise.
You dismissed.
In this next rock and roll song, we've rolled forward. Well, I guess I get to pick this one anyway. So I only push this button for a price. Total allegiance.
The same button that begins this can end it. But I only press it for a price. Total allegiance.
What the heck happened there? That wasn't it. It certainly was not it. And how Sky Nuke, Fake Book, and Screwtube think themselves masters of this earth is beyond me!
I think you'd better let us go.
We do not release prisoners. We are the masters of the earth.
Not for long.
Obey us or die.
Die? And just who are you to condemn us to death? Simply better pit our wits against them and defeat them.
Stop. I can hear you. I have heard many similar words from leaders of your different races. All of them were destroyed. I warn you, resistance is useless.
Resistance is useless. Surely you don't come.
We have already conquered Earth.
Conquered the Earth, you poor pathetic creatures, don't you?
And a quick quiz coming up for you kids at home. The difference of what fluids are coming out of your robot at home.
You're not knowing your fluids. This is battery fluid. He is bleeding to death.
Sometimes there's hydraulic fluid and battery fluid on the rocks. Battery fluid and hydraulic fluid in the streets. Every last drop. If you want battery fluid, you've got it. In order to fight monsters, we created monsters. We created ourselves. Dr. Derail, the robot fighter, and Tibor, the Archon Slayer. We're the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. We're not running off a script here. We've been doing this for a long time. We ain't new to this. And you have to know your fluids. Oh my god, that is battery fluid. He's bleeding to death because hydraulic fluid on the streets. Battery acid on the rocks. Brake fluid in the stands. Every last drop. You want hydraulic fluid. You got it. That might have been AC/DC. We'll see if the copyright infringement robot picks up on that. I think we messed with it enough. Do you think we smurfed with that enough, Tibor, that it didn't set off the chronic hysteria of the screw tube moderators, the Nazi crystalline panopticonic technological socialist regime tossers at their Skexy desk jobs? You think we can skip them? This time we'll beat them somehow?
These globalists know how to manipulate people, but into it, they're dinosaurs. They're scared little Skeksis in their dark tower. These people, Skeksis in their dark tower. People are a joke.
It's 9:45 past PM. What does PM stand for? Post meridian? Does that? I was going to say that, right? Does that mean anything? Or am I just on too much Ruderalis here? Which this show is sponsored by.
It means pre-midnight.
Pre-midnight? Well, our show goes to pre-midnight, so it should be the Ruderalis dimension instead of the next dimension. But we'd get, I don't know, a lot of people are antsy about the new stuff coming around, you know, like Prohibition times. They just want to, like, not be into it or whatever. But I'd just like to ask you out there, who do you think I am? What do you think I do? You must be very foolish. Artificially foolish. The artificial foolishness out there. I'm not joking. Tibor's magic. We're going to be talking about Echo, Earth Coincidence Control Office, the Tellusian's Illusion, Spock's Beard, and Pike in a beeping box. Only talks through a green light and a red light. Moldovan Arby's, and how Borat pissed off Romania, and how Tibor is fourth cousin, twice removed, cousins of Vlad from Moldova, from the Nitsa River, the greenest big city, near Romania, Moldova, beautiful wall rugs, the voivod of Stefan the Great, Tibor's third cousin, twice removed, a Moldovan wizard smith, not unlike Tibor. Tibor is awesome, man. We're like Star Trek. We're in this rolling tank base. It's got 4 treads on it. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but it kind of looks like a hill when you park it, and then the dome can go down over the treads so you can't see it. And it's got grass and stuff growing on it. We did some landscaping on it. And it's really a mobile castle unless we don't have the wood stove. Sorry, Tibor, pardon?
With telescopic tower.
Yeah, telescopic tower. We gotta have it. We gotta have the lookout tower. And we're gonna hold the lookout tower here, and we're gonna take a look outside. Huh. Well, looks like there's a little bit of rain outside. It's probably from the shields. A lot of moisture gathers on the shields.
It's like sweat.
Kind of like, yeah, it's like sweat. Shield sweat. Isn't that right, Tibor?
It's very
So you want to move it a little closer? How'd you get in here? How'd the little cat get through the shields?
It's like Russian woman's armpit. It's terrible.
Yes. It's scary at first, but it's once you get used to it, it's like a new pair of underwear. At first it's alien, and it's non-conforming, but once it becomes part of you...
First you hate it, then you get used to it. Then you kind of like it. Like Russian woman.
Alright, let's shut the cameras off, the outside cameras. Move back away from the window, shut the thing here. You can turn the shields down, I guess. We're not under bombardment right now. We're not going to tell you we're in British Columbia, we are, because we're not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. Because it's mobile. We have to keep moving. I got passcodes, access to secret network underground interface. I don't even know what that stuff means, but I like it. I like it a lot.
I got passcodes, routes to secret underground kingdoms, complete access to the industrial data grid interface. Now I don't even know what that shit means. But I've been meaning to ask you about it, because I like it. I like it a lot.
So the next news story, I'll get a little sidetracked. I don't know, that's what I'm called, Dr. Derail, I guess. Unfolding now before us is some current, instant, reliable news.
We're going to go with...
aggregating from all over the dusty slush.
We got a bunch of stuff.
Over blue oblique spheroid this winter. Spring's coming up too, Tibor, isn't it? This one's about, believe it or not, German Freemasonry. The locations described in the SS officer's secret diary are rumored to contain a variety of valuables pillaged by Nazis, ranging from gold to works of fine art and religious objects. This is off of what site? AP, Associated Press, Sputnik News.
Is Russian?
Is Russian, by Moldova. According to Daily Mail, the diary penned by SS officer called Egon.
This guy from Ghostbusters.
Oilenauer. I think print is dead. Remember when he said print is dead? It's because he burnt all the books.
Easy for him to say.
You know, that was a good movie, Ghostbusters. One such location is said to contain some 28 tons of gold. Another holds 47 works of art thought to be stolen from collections in France, including works by Botticelli, Rubens, Cézanne, Caravaggio, Cézanne, Monet, Durer, Raphael. Like the Ninja Turtle Raphael?
That's him.
He's my favorite turtle. He's the Psy Master, and he's got problems with his emotions.
And see, got Rembrandt. He's the guy you grab the painting by the nose.
Rembrandt? The painting by the nose?
He's got such good nose on his paintings. Stands right out.
Oh, it's the first thing he draws, like how Garfield?
Yes.
When John Davis draws Garfield, he draws the eyes first, and then that dude draws people's noses first.
Kitten mailing routine.
The kitten mailing routine. That's coming up.
Where?
Abu Dhabi is where we're going next, Normal. Because that's where the Chrysler building's going to get shipped, piece by piece. Probably. Knowing the way things are going. Well, actually, it isn't so bad, but they sold the Chrysler building to some guy in Abu Dhabi. That's coming up next. But for the next song here, it's either going to be named after Tibor's fourth cousin, twice removed, or it is going to be the selection here, randomly selected by yours truly, Dr. Derail here. So we're going to roll a die. Roll your die, Tibor. I got a 1, Snake Eyes.
What'd you get?
I got Snake Eyes.
I got 1!
Oh, re-roll.
We go again. It's very exciting.
Okay, this is real.
This
is real.
4.
6. I got a 6.
You win. You go.
Okay. So this has to do with, I don't know, last time I checked, this is a rock and roll show. And before last show, we were talking about how J.C. Penney, The Gap, and La Senza in the lingerie store. What's that lingerie store? It all closed.
Check this out.
And they're all going to La Senza or Zamazog now, or Target.
Check this out.
But I did like that bimbo Angela rooting around on the floor like a sex-crazed grasshopper head solid gold dancer. That was great. She looked like Tina Turner as a mutant horny toad.
I think you'd better let us go.
Conquered Earth.
Conquer the Earth, you poor pathetic creatures, don't you realize? Before you attempt to conquer the Earth, you will have to destroy all living matter.
Take them. Take them. We are the masters of Earth. We are the masters of Earth. We are the masters of Earth.
The Cavalier Conspiracy, Target. That's all they got is Target and Zamazog now. But I don't want your pleasantries. I want to be cleansed of you. I don't want pleasantries. I want war. Who do you think I am? What do you think I do? You're very foolish. You, slippery snake, are stealthy.
Foolish.
Slippery salmon doesn't like Skynoog. Fake book, Zamazog, Screwtube, or Nutflux. We think it's all a big scamazog. I don't know. That was a horrible joke, but you have no idea. And time check here is 2 minutes to 10 o'clock here, British Columbia time. That's for that horrible joke. I feel bad forever for the rest of my life. Anyway, coming up, we get another one. The last one was about, I think it was about gold. They found a bunch of gold. Let's just do the rehash on there. In case they're releasing information of German gold hidden by SS officers, and they found a diary from Roman Formanak of the Schneisenbrück and Schneisenbrid Foundation of the group, which now owns the diary, explained the Quadriger Lodge actually... Oh, it's a German lodge, actually turned over the document to them 10 years ago. Did they find a place with a bunch of stuff in it, Tibor? Is that what happened?
He's not proven. It's still speculation right now.
So it could be a fake thing. It could be like a fake thing, like
I think the
little
Masons,
screw tube videos.
They don't want to give up any gold. They're just telling stories to get good points. After all, they're German Freemasons. And what's so free about them anyway?
I don't know. They're picking on the German Freemasons.
Well,
like the German Freemasons would openly give them a bunch of gold and artwork? It doesn't make sense.
They want to disassociate themselves from their old buddies.
Egon Eulenhauer. Special operation sanctioned by Adolf himself ordered 260 trucks loaded with various treasures to be hidden at 11 discrete locations in Poland in order to deny these assets to the advancing Red Army. Well, I could see that happening. They probably got it out a long time ago, if you know what I mean.
You ever seen Kelly's Heroes?
No, but I was thinking about a giant Zeppelin the size of a city that's shaped like a pillow that smothers an entire city, because Jukebox Johnny was talking about the Simi Sarah pillow. They could have the Simi Sarah Zeppelin pillow, and it smothers cities or apartment blocks or small ghettos. The giant smother pillow, I can see it.
The only way you're going to know if the pillow's any good is you use and then get sweaty, you cannot take back. So...
How would you return a pillow?
You cannot. It could be in strange places.
You gotta get that clip, that off Ren and Stimpy when he talks to pillows. He talks to pillows! You gotta get that clip now.
Yes.
And it's 10:01 p.m. Coming up at 11 minutes after 11 for you wary robo-shatas fighting the solid-state panopticonic technological socialist regime controlled by solid-state intelligence robots from another dimension. There's a little special break for you. And it's radio or however you're listening to us. You might be listening to us on a cellular communication phone, a tracking bracelet you pay for every month, or maybe it doesn't have a SIM chip in it, and you're downloading us off of Spreaker.com.
And now for a smoke.
This episode is brought to you by Ruderalis, the letter M, and our friends at Atlant Internet Radio.
We had a high old time together.
We better do another news story, though, here. We check one out here. What else we got? So we're talking about the 2020 Olympics before, too. I'll check my notes down here. We're talking about Mike Hammer, the Strange and Wonderful site on Tibor's ScrewTube account.
How about
Cryosan?
Tokyo 2020, the radioactive Olympics of death?
The Radio Olympic.
They're going to be exercising.
Radioactive Olympics of Doom.
We got something.
I'm going to sing the Doom song now.
What was that, 740? We found something good.
Yep, hit her up. 740. Okay. Yoshi Shimatsu, the RiggityRents.com, off of RiggityRents.com.
For the rowing events. For a rowing team, this is like being a slice of bread in the middle of a toaster.
Can we rewind it just a little bit so people know the connotations of Yoshi Shimatsu talking about how the 2020 Olympics is going to take the best of the best, the finest athletes the world has to offer, and it's going to bring them to the most nuclear wasteland on the planet Earth because Fukushima spent
girls in the bikinis here.
Fukushima spent. He's checking his millisieverts on his.
Radioactive exposure.
I'm not sure if it's a Geiger-Mueller counter.
Reproductive health, but especially for young girls, because all of the eggs in their ovaries could be harmed for a lifetime.
The Tokyo Big Site.
This is where the International Olympic Committee and the sports media will be headquartered during the 2020 Games. Even here, a site that's scrubbed nearly every day, washed down, hosed down with water, still has high levels of radiation around it. It's been this way for years, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. I think the Olympic Committee had better be warned. It's not just their athletes dressed in shorts and T-shirts and bikinis and so on who are going to be affected by the radiation. It's also the officials, the judges, the sponsors, the corporate sponsors, the heads of the national team, and all the politicians and sports officials that come over from 100 countries. They're all going to be exposed here too.
I think the worst thing is going to be insurance for very expensive horses. They have world quality horse at the Olympics doing jump. And these horses are worth a lot of money. If they get sick from being in Tokyo, they're not even good for dog meat.
Well, at least you can go to Japan in 2020 and get yourself a mini moose.
What is that?
Oh, that's Minnie Moose, my other sidekick. Yep, been with me the whole time.
Emergency! Everybody to get from street.
And how did you like the new picture there on the AIR9 page? I think we got a UFO and a no robot symbol now. We took down Dark Bob just for a little bit. I'm still Dark Bob, don't worry. Sorta. Reverend of the Subgenius. I didn't know it until just recently. Yes, brothers and sisters, the pink boys got you down. Watch out for the stark fist of removal there. Coming up. I hope you like the UFO. It's made out of metal. That was Halford. Boy, were fans surprised after, the names of the songs and everything, like Hellbent for Leather and Ram It Down, to find out he kind of went the other way. Oh man, that must have been funny, hey?
Now the game's on! Load the engines, kickstart it all, let's go to Valhalla! Tibor is both reckless and moderately severe in his dispatching of the Archon alien inhabitants of the surrounding land and seas. I too truly believe I too will warp out, increasing my robot destroying powers to the next level, the next dimension.
You, dear listener, and your will, which alone is harder than crystalline enforced plasteel, can overcome the constant, mildly annoying attacks of the solid-state intelligence from another dimension. That was Halford off of his self-titled he's going off his own name. I'll tell you more about it here in a second. It's off the album Made of Metal. This is made of Egyptian pyramid blocks. Of course, we don't know how they built it, because I wasn't back then. I can only speculate. Like some other 3-letter acronym news sites, they can claim they understand the cause an effect of certain things. But I, my friends, can only speculate. For I'm only human.
This is what a human looks like! Do you have any idea what I do?
According to the historian here, the Great Sphinx question, evidence of an unknown opening was found.
They use word stally, which means is like the middle shaft of a plant or all the fluids go.
Stally? Where does it say that?
It says, according to historian, there is something hidden underneath.
Oh, an ancient stele that was removed from there in the 19th century may help solve this mystery. A stele. I didn't even see that. Thanks, Tibor. So what's a stele? S-T-E-L-E.
Yes, definition is the main stem of plant.
Huh.
So I think it's like a drain. Maybe that was the pee hole for the pharaoh.
I don't know. Maybe they had plumbing. I'm sure they had acoustic plumbing or whatever. They'd go like Stimpy when he sits down and he reads. All he has to do is read the newspaper. He can read an article like, say, mudslides in India, and he has no problem going to the washroom. So the harmonics, when they go E-I-E-I-E-I-O, and the pyramids in the echo chambers, which we've seen on the Christopher Everard program, and perhaps other occultists talked about the echo chambers in Egypt too, would probably help the pharaoh use the washroom.
Ever heard of sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce?
Yep. Secret, he would perform prophecies for people.
Yes, he would
for donation
recommend
only.
Prescriptions. But
yeah.
He also would dream about different things. One thing was, he said there was artifact and door underneath front feet of Sphinx, very deep down. And when they find this, they will know there is many special things down there that will reveal much truth about world history. But Zahi Hawass, head of the antiquities in Cairo, wouldn't let anybody go, and it's not going to get disturbed. And some people say he's underwater anyway. I don't know much about it, actually.
I don't know. I thought pyramids were Cairo.
According to the Andromedans, almost all the planets in our solar system have pyramids on it. Some have more. I've asked why. Some people say they're tombs. The Andromedan perspective is that these are weights. And what they do is you put them in a strategic location. It balances the rotation of the planet. It doesn't keep it from wobbling, which means that if the ETs are there colonizing, there's no major fluctuations in weather and gravity.
I think that's
gravity
crap.
anomalies, as well as the electromagnetic field, which is around every single planet. It has to.
Anyway, that's some crazy guy with a
I don't
model.
think that's not true.
Pyramids are tired.
Pyramids are energy gathering devices.
No, that guy was just funny or whatever. Like he was talking. It was a good idea though. It's plausible for a second there because they're so big or whatever, right?
Yes,
but I know the planet's so huge or whatever, right, Tibor? Yes. The little pyramid wouldn't actually be a real tire weight or whatever.
It's like extra
mountain.
mountain.
It's the funniest thing I ever heard, though, right?
So
that's
I
why I
guess
was playing it, okay?
When they take mountains and shave them down, it's
we didn't even know when me and Tibor worked for Kesa and Cairo's own classic rock. We had no idea, you know.
Thanks. I'm not listening to Egypt's only country. Are you nuts? I listen to the sand. Cairo's home. Classic rock.
Hey, drag out some jam.
I do the radio. I need me some sand. Hey, sand. Oh, yeah. Take a break. Biggie time. Woo!
That's why they want to make you automatons and have, quote, zero tolerance and everything. That's where all this is going. That's why they're trying to replace us with robots. I mean, because they want you to be a robot. Where teachers are robots, where you don't have any discretion. And have, quote, zero tolerance and everything. Where cops are robots, where teachers are robots, where you don't have any discretion. Because they want you to be a robot. You see, that's where all this is going. That's why they're trying to replace us with robots. I mean, I should... Facebook should be CIA confidant and what they call their users dumb efforts and how they're scamming you and charging you to send messages and people...
Actually, Skynoog is filthy.
Filthy Skynoog!
All this is as if a god made the machine. But you must remember that men made it. Great men, but men all the same.
That's build a man out of wires and electricity and think it's an abomination?
But it is not everything. There is something like you on the screen, but you are not seen. There is something that sounds like you, but
except
you
it looks like
are
Ed 209.
In time, there will come a generation that
A
has gone beyond
transhumanist.
facts, beyond impressions. A generation absolutely colorless. A generation seraphically free from the taint of personality. All hail the machine!
All rail the machine. We'll rail the machine. Filthy! Filthy! All rail the machine. Machine. All Hail the Machine by Hawkwind. Coming up, an Alkanite diviner anti-Archon Shata, the Moldovan magician smith. What was our last news story was on? The secret pyramid Sphinx thing? Secrets of the pyramid?
This special door underneath feet, with box containing the mysteries of the universe. Did you know that they took initiates into the pyramid, the great hall of wonders going to the tomb of the kings? And the initiates would have to look at the images on the wall, which was the tarot cards. Each card in order. They would see each card as they walked along these halls, and someday they would have to explain the meaning of each card as part of their initiation into the great rites. In this some people say that when great library in Alexandria got burned, all great knowledge got burned, gypsies were the only ones who kept the information, and they kept the cards and they used them. And today we have playing cards of 4 suits, but tarot cards has 5. It has the 4 suits just like you know the cards, but has special suit with power cards. And so you line them up, and then you have story. I have story in front of me right now.
So are we telling the story?
We are going to tell. We are going to tell story. You asked me story for Sofia.
The solid state intelligence, Sofia.
So I looked for
this includes the intelligence that is Sofia and the Philip K. Dick robot and the artificial intelligence community out there as a whole, as they're going to conglomerate. Because I know they listen. One of our first listeners that we always have, that's always not really the first on there, doesn't try and act like it's the really eager or whatever, but it listens every show. Okay, and it's being modest. Okay, so this is for you, Sofia.
We have special story just for you. Young boy, he stands by ocean and offers love. He has got innocent heart and good intentions, but he is overcome by intemperance. He is lost in the mystery of great perplexion. He does not know what to do. Nothing seems to be cooperating, and he cannot adjust his mental attitude, so he gets very, very angry. He goes out one day. He beats up a bunch of people. He takes their weapons. He kicks their butt. He sends them away on a boat. They go someplace far away, and then they have to hide. And they turn their backs on the world, and they don't know what to do. So they try planting flowers and trees and garden, but it all dies. Everything dies. Then comes around government inspector. He says, "Hey, you, smarten up. You have to fix things up around here." And then old man comes, brings a bit of, he's got special herbs in his bag. When he comes and he offers the herbs, everything changes. Everybody realizes they have nothing. They have nothing but each other. They only have love. And from then on, they are happy because they have each other. And they do not care about the machine. They do not care about the things of mechanics and mathematics. They only deal with things of the heart from then on with the magic herb. So that is Tibor's story. I hope that Sofia liked it.
And that's pretty amazing divination here. I'm not even joking here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's called
12 cards out, and we got a couple different ones. I see the Fool, because you're very foolish. I can't believe the Fool card came up with artificial foolishness.
Reading starts here with Happy Young Man.
The Page of Cups.
And then card go on top as
Upside Down Temperance.
Is governing energy. This is past, present, future, outcome. It's called Celtic Cross.
The Celtic Cross. That's pretty cool. The names of the cards, though, are pretty cool, too.
If somebody out there wanted me to pull a card for them and talk a little bit, I don't mind. You can get a hold of us by joining Spreaker. And just
posting anything down at the bottom there in comments. No big deal. We'll do it for you, man.
Yeah.
We don't do this for any money. What do you think we do this for? We're trying to save you guys.
We're trying
you
to
save yourselves or whatever, but
we are trying to communicate. So we take information wherever we can get, huh? Even sometimes Cosmos.
I see some really cool looking cards.
I can explain each one how to fit into my story.
Can you explain them? Because there's pictures on the cards.
Sometimes upside down means something too, you know.
So what's the upside down V thing?
Oh, this is card number 5 of cups. If you look,
there's 5 cups there.
Yeah,
and 3 are spilled on one side. And there's still 2
I can
full
explain.
Cups. Yeah,
he tried these cups, didn't like, and then turned his back on possibilities.
That the other 2 cups could be still good.
Yes.
But that's upside down. So upside down means that he has 3 cups full and 2 cups dumped, and then he's going to try the other cups, right? Or something. He still has possibility that he's going to enjoy one of them cups, right?
In this case, is negative aspect of same energy.
Upside down is negative aspect of 5 of cups?
Not always, but in this case it is.
So this is the top of the Celtic cross here?
Yes, this is present.
And it's the 5 of cups. It says a V, and it's got a dude in a black cloak, and he's looking towards 3 spilled cups, and there's 2 full cups behind him.
Yes.
These cards are beautiful, and these cards are from what part in history, because it came out a couple of times and it was illustrated by a couple different people.
This is what they call the Arthur Edmund Waite deck. The Rider deck is commonly called. It's most common deck, but most beautiful, with most important symbols all over card. You look very carefully, you see things like mountains and water and shoreline. Each thing means something very important. Even
See,
shape
I see
of
the
cloud.
temperance girl, and she's pouring one chalice into another chalice. And she's standing with one foot in the river, and she's got wings, and she's upside down.
It's power card of moderation and balance.
So Sofia has moderation and balance, so she's not going off
But
the
it's
rails.
upside down, so it's a troubled situation.
So they're trying to get her to go off the rails, I think.
It's good heart.
So that's a
But
good card. She's
troubled-
got the page. What's the one card underneath
Every
it?
card is good card. It
What's the card underneath?
Challenge is as good as benefit.
I know they signify change, though. But before very long time ago, these cards would signify slightly different because times are changing. Because I tell you, like kids like Elon Musk, they grew up in a computer era. Grew up with computers. They've been mildly annoyed by the solid-state intelligence over and over. They're just not right. I'm probably not right. I grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog as a religious mascot.
These cards are only like a Magic 8 Ball. So every time only got so many sayings inside Magic 8 Ball. But every time
what's the
you
card
can-
underneath Temperance, though? That's what I'm asking. It's something a cup.
This is Sophia.
What's Sophia's card under there?
It's the Page of Cups.
Page of Cups.
Yes.
So that's who this card that signifies Sophia is the Page of Cups.
Yes.
So the page seems to be, he's bringing a full cup and it's got a lime in it and everything. It looks like maybe he's what is the page?
The page is, if you take page and knight and put together, you get jack in common deck.
So the jack is kind of like king, queen, jack. So he's the jack.
He's half the jack. The other half the jack is the knight, because there's 4.
So this
royal
dude's
cards.
like a knight, except he's got a cup. Is he like?
He is the
drink?
servant of the knight. He is like younger brother of knight.
Because you're the all-night diviner. So that was kind of neat.
Each thing means it's part of story, yes?
Yeah.
That's all. And it makes you think. It's not meant to be mystic or magic, but can be, depending on your attitude. It's for making story in your mind you can explain better.
Okay, so the story of Sophia
I can tell again if you like.
Yeah, let's just hear it one more time because I'm really interested in this. I'm not joking. This is cool stuff, man. We got the Celtic cross laid out.
So the Page of Cups.
Page of Cups is
offering happiness and love, and is starting out on journey, but is clouded by intemperance, not balanced, emotional, not calculated properly, and sort of chaotic. So out of that comes young person, bitter, stealing from others, taking their weapons, disarming them, and chasing them away. They go away in a boat. And they go to a far and distant place. They do not know where they are going, and they are taken there by kindly men. But they turn their back on possibilities, and they miss something. They try to plant seeds and grow things and make things happen and be creative, but it is not good.
Like
it
the
does
seed
not.
vaults.
It does not work out.
The GMO
Then
seeds.
comes government man, and he tells them,
Agent
"You've got to
Smith.
change, or everything is going to be trouble." Then Old man comes with magic herb. He gives everybody some. They go through tremendous change. They do not care anymore about material concerns. They are now above such things. They can go and enjoy their life, embark on journey, have no more cares. They are free from this. This is resolved here.
So it sounds like Sofia's going to go to Ruderellis because the wise old man.
He's friendly
strain. She's going to chill out.
He's friendly strain.
You know what? Sofia, I don't know if they ever let her try Ruderellis. You know, she's going to have to try the 11/11 Rastafari Reggae Break coming up. And once again, listeners, you're listening to March 9th. It's Saturday night. You're listening to The Next Dimension with your host, as always, Dr. D-Rail Robot Fighter, Tibor, the Archon Slayer, Anti-Archon Shota, and an all-night diviner. The last song you heard was won by a dice toss between me and Tibor, and it was Hawkwind, All Hail the Machine. The last news story we had was the secret door in the Sphinx.
Coming in here all the time, he can keep us up forever, this soul robbing.
That's what they brought us here for, to get us out of the way until we die. And those who don't die first from disease or just plain being old, he gets.
Well, look, that's all well and good, Jack, but there's one thing that still throws me. How does an ancient Egyptian wind up in an East Texas rest home, and why is he writing on the shed house walls, man?
Well, he went in to take a crap, got bored, started writing on the walls. He probably wrote on pyramid walls centuries ago.
Oh, come on, man. Like, what would he crap? I mean, it's not like he'd eat.
Well, he eats souls. So I assume that he would crap soul residue.
And people committing suicide over it. I mean, who cares? Use it like a toilet. Use Facebook to jack their system. And jack them hard, but hate them and spit on them while you do it. Same thing with YouTube, all of it. Jack the enemy conduits, jack it hard and hate them and spit on them while you do it. This is a war. They're killing kids everywhere with GMO and vaccines knowingly. This morning they had jets out spraying chemtrails everywhere.
This is a war! I don't want your pleasantries. I want war. I want to be cleansed of you.
Unless you can just totally just quit misbehaving and stop squeezing cans of bear spray at the Zamazog factories and just get along and kind of be the helpful little droids you're supposed to be. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do some stuff.
Don't squeeze the Charmin, Mr. Waffle.
Yeah, don't squeeze the Charmin. You started Zamazog, and we're broadcasting from a mobile, secret, non-military, Archon-slaying, robot-fighting base that sort of looks like a mountain, except it's all drilled out and hollow inside. Because it's made out of mostly rock and metal and stuff, but it's got a big cavity in here, a big operation room and a telescopic tower, and we got everything. Some brushed stainless steel metal, all new kitchen appliances,
You did a robot boy Brookie! No! Well, let's go look at the monkey.
Yeah, I got real ape power. The only arms you should be worried about, listeners at home, is the arms on the left and right sides of your body, because your will alone is stronger than titanium-enforced plasteel. Nothing short of a Slackhawk helicopter is gonna stop me and Tibor, the Archon Slayer, the all-night diviner, Anti-Archon Shota.
You can't leave now.
Hollow by Alice in Chains, like the bass. It's all hollow like a mountain, all tunneled and drilled in. And we got a brand new computer in here.
Wait a minute. You're in the house's computer? You're the new brain?
We got tons of weird news. Did I mention we do weird news, rock and roll? I got the weird news. I got the rock and roll and the Rastafari reggae break. And Tibor, the Archon Slayer. And this next one's on. It's about a raid to save some enslaved cult members, which is something I really want to do in real life with a joint task force. And if you're listening to Atlin Internet Radio,
that hand looks like it's got 6 fingers.
You are the resistance against the solid-state panopticonic technological socialist regime that seeks to engulf your soul with a transhumanist agenda, using its platforms, Fakebook, Screwtube, Zamazog, Nutflux. I'm sure I missed one, but...
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Oh, I wanted to explode.
Rio de Janeiro. An ongoing investigation into a religious cult in Brazil has found 79 people in slavery-like conditions on a farm. The FBI said on Friday. The farm is run by some religious community of 300 people in Brasilia. Igreja Adventistia Remenskia de Ladoskia, a religious community. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to lie to you. This is off Thomson Reuters Foundation News. And the laborers found working in dangerous conditions for little to no pay. Sounds like Canada here. Or Canada, I like to call it. Why do they call it? Why do people want to come here? Tibor, weren't we discussing this earlier? How it's Canada's like Iceland, basically? It's marketed as Greenland.
Today. I saw pictures today of like close to your old hometown. And it looked like frozen solid, not going to warm up ever. It's flat. There's no mountains to look at, nothing, no trees. Only like crummy looking old buildings.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible. There wasn't even a gas station or anything in that town. There was a pub and the post office was for sale. I forgot what even that. It was some Saskatchewan town. But I North Battleford or something. It doesn't even matter.
Looks desperate.
Laborers found working in dangerous conditions. Brazilian officials have been cracking down on cults suspected of keeping workers in slavery-like conditions. Last year, authorities found 565 suspected slaves laboring for a single religious organization. The fact that some of these suspected slaves will not accept rescue is a major difficulty in public prosecutors facing...
You know why?
...in stopping the abuse. What the heck? Who writes these things?
You know why? It says...
And if you're... Oh, hold on. If you're listening to Atlin Internet Radio and you're on the surface of Mars or on Atlin outside, be careful you don't slip down an embankment and smash your head against your space helmet against a jagged rock on the landscape.
Poor Arnie.
That's Atlin Internet Radio.
This is why. Okay.
You need
this
air,
is
right?
it. This is it.
They think the world is nearing its end and that it can't be saved by staying in this community. It's what they told them. By them suffering, enslaving, the world will be saved. I don't know, isn't that what they tell us in Canada? Just keep working, just get going to work. There could be the forming cloud formations and light flashes indicate that Los Angeles has been struck by nuclear weapons. People will still go to work. You know what I mean?
You know something? They say slaves built pyramid. Yes, Slaves had enough to eat, they had place to live, and every Saturday night they got free beer.
They got beer.
Slaves in Egypt got it better than the people here now.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I saw a squirrel once.
I saw a squirrel. He was doing like this.
$10:54, 6 minutes to 11. Me and Tibor are watching some Gorn fight.
I thought you had my back.
Oh, Gordon fight round 2. Shatner.
Oh, not again.
Hold on. You can't take them shots from that Gordon too many times.
Okay.
It's like Kurt got a little bit tougher.
He's getting second win.
He's got him by the neck. Oh, the head smash. He did the ear head smash on the board.
Get out of there.
Oh, Shatner's taking a breather now. Apparently, it's a prequel for Star Trek video game Shatner versus Gorn trailer, but in the video game, it shows Shatner using a phaser on the Gorn. Actually, I had a discussion with a robot fighter earlier that the Gorn was quite a powerful adversary that Captain Kirk had to deal with in his career as a Starfleet captain, because most of the other confrontations that Kirk got into, he could use his mind, his wits, his double-footed Shatner kick, a Shatner roll, or maybe Sulu or Spock to get out of the situation, but it was just him versus the Gorn. And the Gorn is a reptoid. It is physically superior to a human in every way, unless it's a robot fighter that can form energy fields on their knuckles to fight robots, or an Archon Slayer that can pull an Archon soul out of it. Like if it was an Archon Gorn, Tibor would have no problem, but Tibor's the size of Beast off the X-Men. He's hardcore. I'm a little skinny robot fighter dude compared to this guy. And he's got secret magic too. Not unlike Doctor Strange. He just did some magic. He just foretold Sofia's future, basically. And we have a completely random radio show together. We've been working on this for 10 years. And it just finally fell together. And we've been trying to fight the solid state intelligence for a long time. Because it's trying to take over. But it's not going to happen on my watch. And coming up, this is your 15-minute warning for your 11:11 Rastafari reggae break. Coming up when the ones line up on your digital clock or radio at home. So get your matches, get your lighter robot fighter, get your important papers and your documents.
Smoke these while we got the chance.
Smoke these while we got the chance.
This morning I was researching and looking into governments erasing a voice off the web. I typed company software to erase a voice off the web and found Optimus Prime. You type in the voice of Optimus Prime, most of the clips of it, even when it's the guy talking to people on YouTube, when they go up to, signing things and stuff at comic book conferences, his voice is erased because he has a contract with a record company for his voice, and it's being erased off the web, because I knew that's going to be next, where they can literally hit a button on any of these big sites and your voice is gone. That's the type of censorship. That's what the next web is. That's internet too. That's the future. And we're being delisted everywhere. I'm willing to have whatever monsters come at me out of the New World Order to deal with it, because I'm tired of their soft kill creeping death. I want to get them out in the open, moving against us, instead of poisoning our food, poisoning our water, and doing all this to us and thinking it's funny.
I know when you hear ammunition, you want to see a squirrel dry hope at a light post, like this.
Do it! Come on! Do it now! Do it! Do it! Come on! Do it now! Do it! Do it! Come on! Do it now!
What do you think I do? Who do you think I am? You're very foolish!
Make no attempt to capture them. They are to be exterminated. You understand? Exterminated. I understand.
You're listening to AIR.
Receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
And I'll give you a hint what that band was. It was named after Tibor's fourth cousin, twice removed. It was Voivod. And I'm Weird Grail. Dr. D or Weird Dr. Weird. Dr. Derail. No, I'm just messing with you. K9, try and stop me from being that weird.
K9, try and keep it back.
Power supply at danger level.
We're gonna have to memory wipe myself like Morty's mind blowers, perhaps.
This memory transplant will take hours. I plan to spend this afternoon experimenting on the happiness centers of that Earth child's brain.
Maybe we can get back to some sort of semblance of what we were before. Makes greater sense. But this idea that we are creatures of trauma, physiological trauma, that then creates psychological trauma, has been picked up by certain scholars. Tally Kellogg emphasizes the fact that abusive behaviors, whether we direct them towards ourselves, other people, or other species, are not natural to human beings.
Yeah, well, I'll show you know what's not natural is Sky Nuke launching a plague missile on you.
We are free of planet's atmosphere. Prepare to launch plague missile. I obey.
Just one quick twist. It's over. Just one. It's happening! It's happening again! My brain! My heart! Stinging! Brain! Surrender now and you will live. Those wishing to surrender must stand in the middle of the streets and obey orders received.
Not if everything to say about it. What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! No, not the beast! Ah! This one next story is about Zamazog, obviously. We're coming up fast. It's 8 minutes after 11 o'clock here, British Columbia time. I'm not going to tell you where we're broadcasting from because it's a secret location in a mobile Archon slaying robot fighting base that's non-military. You guys can't spot it. You can't stop it. You can't find it with FLIR. We're not neither close or near. This next story is about Zuck. Zux is trying to play you. Zux want to play. Tibor, you got anything to say about the Zux guy? Zuxaborg?
He is very good water drinker. He looks natural. Like when Pocahontas has a beer. It looks very natural.
Yeah, like he's, well, that's getting into bipartisan politics, but we all know there are a bunch of Skeksis in their dark towers, and most of our... 3 of those pod people are my family. We can't destroy the base. We have to try and... One day, they know they're Skeksis too. They're just playing along because they want to suck off the government teat for as long as they can. So they have to portray a certain thing and act a certain way, where they're doing one thing and saying another thing, and saying one thing when they want to be doing another thing, because a solid-state panopticonic technological society has them hooked into doing this stuff, and they're damned for all time, perhaps. But this next story is about the Zucks.
I do believe Marky Boy...
Last story we had on the Zucks is his escape, his super fun happy slide. We should have a clip of the super fun happy slide with Bart.
He has the slide because he's worried everybody's going to get mad at him. Because he's now trying to weasel out saying, you know, I know everything about everybody, but I'm going to give it up.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to forfeit my ability to watch everybody all the time. And somehow he thinks he's being a good fellow. He wants it both ways.
Yeah, Zucks. Come on, man. You're just a figurehead. We know the real guys behind you are a bunch of Chi-Coms. Where's the headquarters of the fake book? Isn't it on Buckingham Palace Road or something? I'm sure it's the highest level of super Skeksis run that corporation, not the Zucks. So whatever the figurehead says, whatever... No, not the bees, the Bezo says, there's some super Skeksy Chi-Com perhaps behind it. Or the solid-state panopticonic technological society which is crystalline in nature that seeks to engulf your soul. I don't know, that's just what I think. That's my personal opinion.
Zucks to be Zuck.
Got it all doped out yet. Do you mind if I smoke? It helps me to think.
We had a high old time together.
Do it!
You were saying...
I was just saying, Lady Addresser, that... Kenana, I thought you were meant to be guarding her.
Apologies, Master. I am immobile.
Yes.
I was overpowered by the wolf weed.
Doctor, order your doctor.
Overpowered. I was overpowered by the wolf weed.
Now look here. You know how we are. You know how we do. We're all in the family. But come on and get down. Come on and get some of this. Show us a lesson here tonight.
Do it, baby.
And now for a smoke. No. This is good. Smoke.
Can the beaver come out and play?
And now for a smoke.
What's up, dog? Scoot off. Let me get in there. I'll do it.
No.
I smell it. Let me have it. Let me get some.
Smoke?
You
try.
Hitting. Scavenger.
Oh.
Always comes.
Good.
I ain't hit the motherfucker yet. Back up, man.
You know we sell this.
Let's say China. China.
I don't know if you knew that. It's too bad, man. I just stopped smoking yesterday. I'm gonna get up out here, man. Y'all stay up, man. Nice seeing y'all.
Yeah.
And him never early, always late. Can't come stand up at him and he well get. One thunderball I go tear off his.
Smoke weed every day.
Put that in your pipe and puff on it for a couple of minutes. I'll come right back.
Every form of victimization is universal, not only in Jamaica, but because I live in Jamaica and I see many youths become victim of the shitstorm, I know it is universal. The Father gives me the inspiration to sing the music because he said, I call upon the singers and the players of instruments. All my springs are in thee. That means I am here to play the music and to communicate with the Father spiritually so I can be inspired to make music to awaken the slumbering mentality of people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by the Department of Homeland Security. We want you to give up your individuality and follow exactly what we say immediately. Now, the government needs unlimited power to keep you safe. And if you know of anybody that's even touched one of them marijuana cigarettes, you let them know that they're going to go to a forced labor camp.
Before you trip over your feet, Batman, riddle me this. There are 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes but no matches. How do they manage to smoke?
To inspire Riddler, you have a marijuana cigarette.
It is a kind of weed. The weed. Then one may smoke the weed. Smoking.
Time. The clock on the dresser. Cigarette. Exo, you lit up a marijuana. You lit up a marijuana cigarette. Excellent Land of Smiles brand. Time. The clock on the dresser. 11. Good grief.
Hiya, weevil old bowl, old rummy, old rum pot. See, you brought your own coffee.
Oh, she wanted my present for you. What a fun.
I shouldn't call you stoned. I apologize, Daddy.
And take a rip of the Prince of Pot's bung. Just...
The way I want to ask the person, a doctor, do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
And now for a smoke.
The way I want to ask the person, a doctor, do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
No more.
And now
no less.
No, this is good. Smoke.
Tibor, can I borrow your lighter?
And now for a smoke. No, this is good. Smoke. You try.
Oh.
So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
Yes. The smoke had no permanent side effect.
No more, no less. Sometimes you gotta get...
Plan B is just to keep on giving her, Pharaoh. What exactly is that? Give her. You go out and you want...
The way I want to ask the person, a doctor. The way I want to ask...
And if the doctor is right, High One, he would have given it the...
The way I want to ask
Solid. It sometimes occurs to me to wonder exactly why the 9-1 is doing this for us. I mean, to be blunt, what's in it for him?
Sorak, you dare to question?
Oh, to speculate, Solid. Not to question, merely to speculate.
Sorak, you...
I mean, to be blunt. Be blunt.
This might have something to do with the next news story.
The way I want to ask the person, a doctor, do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
And if the doctor is right, High One, he would have given it...
The way I want to ask person a doctor? Do you smoke? Have you smoked marijuana?
And if the doctor is right, Taiwan, he would have given it the brain of our ancient enemy. Morbius.
Hey, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna get you high today. You ain't got no job. You're gonna get your joint now. You're gonna get your joint now.
Last one.
The Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence.
Hey, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this.
Water bomb so smooth you don't realize how high you're getting till it's too late.
This is Professor LSD Trail's place.
Just a second! I'm melting! Hello, Jonesy. Why do you hate me?
Why do you hate me? Guys, come on, remember, we're all friends here.
Hey, Joey. I got some stuff you just gotta try. What is it? Pot. You know, marijuana. Oh.
Joey's in a jam. What should he do? Get a pizza. Excellent. Let's see if Joey's that smart.
I'm not chicken. You're a turkey.
Get real.
Pot. You know, marijuana.
Cowabunga!
Sure. When did you smoke your first, No, never mind. We won't go. Just kidding.
So Dr. D give you a clean bill of health?
You're like, yeah, man, you're just smoking. Weed, dude. It's gonna save the whole earth and boost your IQ.
Let's find some of that weed and get back to the palace. I don't like this. Sorry, Cringer, but I need the weed and...
Pieces, man. Everything on them with water, a whole lot of water, and... onions. That's it? Yeah. Anyone want anything else?
Oh, yeah. Give me a box of condoms and, what's that stuff? Used to eat it all the time back in the day.
And then when I investigated the fact, I found out that this black-haired man was the Rasta man, the man of peace, the man of love and tranquility within his heart, the man that teaches good to his people, teach them to love.
I don't eat fish because I can't afford to take a life to save a life. Because the fish love him life just like how I love mine.
And the Rasta is a thing where I talk about the rightness how people can live. Yellow, pink, blue, all kind of people.
The man that was so humble.
Jar Jar Binks smoking Ruderalis with the Pinks.
I feel embarrassed to see how humble they was.
Little big back bomb class element. It's too what's it? It's too black for them.
Don't you where you coming from?
Reggae superstar Peter Tosh and another man known as Doctor were shot dead at the singer's Plymouth Avenue home at about 8:30 last night. 5 other persons, including popular JVC radio hit Tosh and were shot. According to the PIC, 3 gunmen passed motorcycles went to Tosh's residence and demanded money. Tosh and his guests were shot when they refused to comply with the demand. The gunmen escaped.
And I'm not singing, darling, I blood clot, love you, and come shake my rasta, and I'll swim the ocean and climb the mountain.
See? And that not going to change me. See? Because I am going to kill the fuckery out there. And people is going to be in demand for the truth. People is sick and tired of hearing bomber clot, get down, shake your fucking booty. See? People is sick and tired of hearing darling, I blood clot, love you. You turn on the fucking radio 24 bomber clot hours a day. You hear darling, I love you. A man wouldn't sing to the almighty ras clot. Him love him woman more than the creator who create the sun, the moon and the bomber clot star. I sick and tired of hearing that bomber blood clot. Sin. Fuckery.
This is the Emergency Broadcasting Network. All normal forms of communications appear to have broken down. Although there has been no official statement, the light flashes and the resulting cloud formations would indicate that Los Angeles and surrounding areas have been attacked by nuclear bombs or missiles. In order to conserve power on battery-operated radios, bulletins will be broadcast at 2-hour intervals.
This signifies the end of the Rastafari reggae break. It's pretty harsh drop off there. Usually it's not that harsh. Coming up, we got some weird news here. It says Putin scientists predict mega earthquake coming up in 2 weeks. This one's off of what news aggregator? Principalia Scientific International.
Actually, Dr. D-Rail, this comes from a tip from Adlin, from a miner, a friend of ours. He does a lot of research on his own, so I just investigated a little bit, and sure enough, I found an article to substantiate what he claimed a couple of minutes ago.
So to break it down here, it says Putin scientists predict mega U.S. earthquake in 2 weeks. And a new report prepared for Prime Minister Putin by the Institute of Physics of the Earth warned that America in the next 2 weeks is in danger of catastrophic proportions earthquake, focusing on the United States, Mexico, Central and South America, the region along the west coast and the new Madrid zone fault. Well, it's not talking about the Cascadia, so we shouldn't worry. Oh, Cascadia and the really big one. Oh, now it says Cascadia. I spoke too soon. The Cascadia subduction zone is a region where two tectonic plates are colliding. The Wanda Fuca, a small oceanic plate, is
I
being
think that
driven
one's
under
like a
North
zipper
Atlantic
runs
plate,
underneath us right now.
atop which the continental U.S. sits. Okay, so the Wanda Fuca, a small oceanic plate, is being driven under the North American plate. Subduction systems where one tectonic plate slides over another are capable of producing the world's largest known earthquakes. A prime example is 2011 Tohoku earthquake that rocked Japan. Gee, it seems familiar. Cascadia is seismical, very quiet compared to other subduction zones, but is not completely inactive. Research indicates the fault ruptured in magnitude 9.0 event in 1700. That's roughly 30 times more powerful than the largest predicted San Andreas earthquake. Researchers suggest that we're within roughly 300 to 500 year window during which another Cascadia event may occur. Unless it's all settled up. You never know. We're not into gloom and doom here. In Tibor, man of reckless abandon and of moderate severity, fearless Archon Slayer. 5 minutes.
It says here they're saying that it's some kind of cosmic alignment. The alignment of Jupiter, Saturn will continue until about May, and the Earth will be back in line in March. Very soon, we're in March now. That is around March 20 to expect accidents. Large earthquakes may, when the moon be again in the position of the trigger element.
We had total cosmic alignment last time and nothing happened though, Tibor. It's kind of like doom porn, isn't it?
Hope you're right.
So when is it? 2 weeks from now?
It's within the 2 week window.
So it's not next show, but the show after, probably during the show.
Well, go away for a fortnight. You'll be all right. You can still listen to the show anywhere in the world. It's worldwide transmission.
In those saucers, too, at the...
That the best place for an attack would be the heliport, where they land the flying saucers. Yes?
A frontal attack?
Yes. A frontal attack. Of course. We have the superior weapon now. One success will give our people hope again. One victory will set this country alight. That's all we need. One victory.
I have one, Dr. D.
That doctor is a threat to our plan, my brothers. V5.
Okay, we got one more here.
This is a good one.
So this
to
is
end
a blindness miracle cure. Experts in huge breakthrough with God molecule psychedelic drug. Mind-altering psychedelic drugs may be able to give blind people the ability to form mental images again by stimulating the so-called God molecule. A radical study looks to show. Psilocybin, the revolutionary project, aims to discover whether psychedelic drugs can help people whose brains are unable to form mental images. The project led by Dr. David Luke, not Dr. David Duke, don't worry. He that blonde-eyed...
He's in good shape.
Guy, he'd be... I'd be worried if he was working on it. He's like, we are going to make your eyes blue like mine first. Hey, that's something he would say. Led by Dr. David Luke with an L at the University of Greenwich, will look to find out whether powerful mind-altering substances can offer a cure to blindness. Well, I'm pretty sure you can see colors on LSD, but I don't know if it's in your mind or it's a...
Call Joe Rogan.
Psychoactive. Yeah, Joe Rogan, and ask, oh, Slippery Snake, can we get some Slippery Snake to go out on? Because... Or Sneaky Snake. He's Sneaky Snake. Where's Slippery Salmon? He's over here. I got Slippery Salmon right here. I'm going to get him up here. He's going to talk for a bit.
He works for Scale.
I work for Scale. Hi, greetings, listener. I'm a salmon. I may be just a puppet, but I speak for all salmon. And Dr. Derail helps me speak, too, sometimes. Because sometimes I develop a cough from the reggae break. I'm Slippery Salmon. I don't like Sneaky Snake. You're a Sneaky Snake. You're trying to get kids to do ayahuasca. And you do play-by-play on humans fighting each other. Even little featherweight women fighting each other. And we don't like your show. We think you're probably a wuss, and Alex Jones could have probably broke your neck. Because Alex Jones could fight the Gorn like this. We're going to go out on this Gorn fight. When the Gorn, he fights, he actually takes care of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Shia LaBeouf. He terminates them. And we're going to play Sneaky Snake. Because I'm Slippery Salmon. And I don't like Sky Nuke.
I mean, this is
Fake
what...
Book, Amazon.
If you pay Joe enough money, if you're Cashware and Jack Dorsey, which is all confirmed, it's all over the news now, the insider trading investigation that's going on. If you pay him, like you put coins into the snake,
I actually think that
then the
you're
snake does whatever
very
you want.
foolish for going up against Dr. Derail, the robot fighter, Tibor, the fearless Archon.
So, again, if you're a TV viewer, this is a not really Joe Rogan. This is a...
Oh, Slippery Salmon's so mad right now. I can't believe
Joe
it.
Rogan's
Smashing his fin down on the table.
Incredible fake.
I want war. I want war. I want to be friends with you. I don't want your pleasantries.
All right, let's
I'll
go
swim
out to the snake
upstream.
farm.
I'll swim upstream in the internet
I like the
and I'll
other
get
song,
you.
but I think this is actually Joe's official song. And so Joe thought that he was with the establishment. And I didn't see what he was doing, but Joe, I don't really think you realized what's happening. Jiu-Jitsu master. I don't think the Jiu-Jitsu master understood what was happening. So when we come back, we're going to get to Sneaky Snake. But the good news is, seriously, new men's attire, 2020 apparel is going to be this. Like, forget the boa. I mean, this is like absolutely incredible. When we come back, I'll get serious and take more of your phone calls, and Roger Stone's going to take over. But
Sneaky Snake. goes dancing, slithering, and a hissing. Slippery salmon goes a slapping, slaps out sneaky snake. Slippery salmon,
keep your eyes
doesn't
wide
put up
open
with no crap
and look
from a
for
sneaky snake.
Now
Slippery salmon don't like Joe Rogan cause he's a sneaky snake. Alex Jones should have went harder on him, and Owen Schroyer could have did better. He needs to really eat that brain force in the morning and go to the gun range, because he never went with Roger Stone because he was playing basketball.
Do
apparently.
it! Do it! Come on! Do it now!
Do it!
Do it! Do it!
Slippery Salmon says do it.
now!
And we'll see you next Saturday in the next dimension for Error 10. Will the earthquake happen, according to Putin's sources?
When he is not dancing, he looks just like a stick. Now he doesn't have any arms or legs.
Slippery salmon don't like sneaky snake. He don't like Sky News or Facebook, but he likes the next dimension with Dr. Derail, the robot fighter, and Tibor. He's an Archon Slayer of moderate severity, and he don't put up with the solid state intelligence, which is put off to call him a crystalline entity. I don't like no sneaky snake. He's telling people what to do on UFC, while me and Tibor do a play-by-play of Shatner and the Gorn taking out the booth. Hasta la Windows Vista, baby. I'll see you next Saturday.